Hey, good evening, friends, family, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and all of you guys that's been following me. So, I'd like to explain something to you guys. This video is the laws and ideas of conversing with another individual, okay? Now, this could be a child, could be your kids, this could be, well, I wouldn't really do it to your kids, but this could be a stranger, a coworker, a colleague. This could be someone that you know online. It could be someone you know on social media. It could be a lot of different people, okay? And it all boils down to 4 parts, 4 steps. Introduction, banter, flirting, and conversating, okay? The conversing, okay? Now, if you have all 4 steps, you've effectively initiated a connection to somebody, okay? You can connect with someone on flirting, and, that has their own connection. You can connect someone with banter, and that's their connection with someone. And you can have conversation with someone, and it has that kind of connection, okay? But I'm going to break this down into a chart, okay? Up here we have introduction, okay? And we have banter, and we have flirting, and then we have 20 questions, and then we have photo story, and then we have conversation, and then eventually, if you get to that point, you have the relationship, okay? Now, let me preface this, guys, by explaining to you guys something. A relationship is either platonic, subplatonic, non-platonic, or casual, okay? Now, a relationship can be a relation between different things. Could be a friend, could be a family member, it could be a relative, it could be a coworker, it could be a stranger, it could be an ex, it could be a current individual that you're fond of, okay? So let's get down to it. Part number 1, the introduction. So what I mean by introduction is you hit one another, okay? You meet. That's the introduction. So, hey, how are you? What is your name? XYZ, QRS and all that ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and all that good stuff. Okay, that's your introduction. Okay, now for some of you, the introduction stops there. You could say, oh, are you local? Are you around here? And then that could say, oh yeah, I'm in here, I'm just visiting, oh cool, that sort of thing. Now, if you go a step into that, and you get into what's called banter. Now, banter is the informal art of flirting with the idea of a joke, an idea, a concept, and a memory, okay? A banter really has no agenda, okay? The purpose of banter is to keep this idea going back and forth, okay? Now, if it goes back and forth, you're on the right track, okay? Now, I've said this before, guys, and I'll say this again. A conversation or a speech is like a ping pong match, okay? Even formal speeches. Listen to the way they speak. They're speaking, but they're waiting for your reply in question. Now, it may be a rhetorical question, but they're observing your response. They're observing your, ugh, or, yeah, I really like that, okay? So you're providing the response for them to feed on the reply, okay? So you have banter, okay? Now, these are all different types of conversation, different types of introductions, different types of connections, okay? Let's move down until flirting. So we've already gone through the introduction. We've gone to the banter, now you're feeling a little bit of chemistry here, right? So now we're moving on to the flirting, okay? So the flirting could be, I like your eyes, I like your beard, your beard hair makes me want to tickle you, that sort of thing, where they're getting just a little bit more personal with you, okay? So, but the thing of it is flirting is a mixture of banter and your introduction, okay? Because flirting often in times will include moments from the introduction where you are, what your name is, how old are you, with playful banter. Oh, you can't possibly be, 40. You just don't even look a day over 23. That's flirting. But that's from banter, okay? A mini conversation that leads nowhere from your introduction. What you learned from this individual when you clashed to one another, okay? So that's the art of flirting. Now, here's the funny part, okay? So we have flirting, right? The next part is 20 questions, right? Now, so we have flirting, and then we have your photo stories, okay? So if you take flirting and you go into 20 questions, this is where some of your conversations stop, okay? That doesn't go anywhere. You just get into 20 questions, like, what was your childhood like? What are you doing Sunday? Did you have a good day? So, it's nice weather, isn't it? What did you eat yesterday? It's 20 questions. It's nothing but a game of guess who between you and the other person. But the thing is you're not knocking down tiles. You're not trying to guess what's going on next. The objective is just, it's nothing. It's just to waste time, okay? Now, in 20 questions, you're either going to go into photo story, or we're just going to skip 20 questions altogether. So if you find out that you really, really like somebody, okay, with all the playful banter, the flirting, and the questions, you're just going to skip 20 questions and go right into the photo stories, okay? Now, if you find yourself going into the photo stories, and what I mean by photo stories, guys, is I mean memories. What was your childhood like? What was the best part of your trip? Did you go out and visit the mountains in Colorado? Did you go out and watch a game last weekend? What was your favorite part of that game? Okay, you're going into memories now, but now you're digging more personal into their life, okay? So now you've added banter, the introduction, and flirting into your photo stories. So do you see how this is all building? You're catching this? Okay, so after the photo story, what's next? It's the conversation, right? Okay, if you get to the conversation, now we've shared memories, we've shared flirting, you get my flirting, the art of it, you've gotten my banter, okay? Some banter is good, okay? There are 3 categories of banter, okay? You have good banter, you have dirty banter, and then you have bad banter. Now, here's the thing. Some of you guys also are trolls, okay? You troll people. Now, banter, like I said, means nothing. It's it's harmless conversation, and it really doesn't have an end point, okay? If you troll, what you're doing is removing the flirting, okay? That's all it is. You're just talking with jokes, okay? Now, you can have bad banter. You can have good banter. Good banter, you're sharing something you learned that was out of nowhere. That's what separates conversation from banter. Banter is just a random thought out of nowhere, okay? It doesn't lead anywhere. You could be having a conversation how you have a garden and you grow vegetables, and out of nowhere, the person you're talking to could be telling you that your car looks like it's going to fall apart tomorrow. Okay? That could be banter. Alright? And it could be falling apart because there's not enough duct tape. You don't need to do anything about the duct tape. You don't need to do anything about the car. But it's just a thoughtless response to a conversation that has no effect, no consequence, no idea. Right? But then we get into dirty banter. Now, dirty banter is your rated R/NC-17 banter. Okay? We often in terms call this being raunchy. Okay? Being dirty. Okay? So, now that we've gotten into conversation, and conversation is a ping pong match. Okay? That is your back and forth. Okay? But let me tell you, this back and forth goes on for hours and hours and hours. This is that moment where time stops. Okay? Well, time never stops, but visually, time just stops. You look at the window, you look out your door, you look out your car, and you suddenly looked and saw the sunshine, and now it's pretty much sunset, right? It just stopped. You didn't notice that the sun was moving. It's gone. Time went past you because it stopped. Okay? So, in the event that you have nailed your introduction, have nailed your banter, have nailed your flirting, and have successfully had your conversations, right? What do you think is the next step? Your relationship. Okay? Because otherwise, it's just conversation. That's it. It's just a time waster. Okay? That's all it is. When you're socializing, you're wasting time with another individual initiating chemistry. Okay? In a relationship, you are fitting yourself into their shoes. Okay? That's what you're doing. That's all relationship is. A coworker, a family member, a coworker. Oh, I said coworker before. So a colleague, coworker, family member, an aunt or a cousin, okay? Someone you admire, a classmate, whoever it may be. You've initially had those 4 major steps, okay? And I can't even come up with an acronym for this. Because you have C, F, B, and I. Which doesn't really make a word or doesn't spell anything, right? So there you go. Those are the different scenarios / styles of conversating. But let me tell you something, folks. Okay? I won't lie. Because you guys know me, I don't lie right out of my teeth, alright? I have had multiple people approach me. I've had multiple relationships. I've had 3 engagements, right? which I'm not proud of the amount of engagements that I've actually had, okay? But I did my mental checklist, and I said, okay, does this person check off this box? Yes. What about this box? Yes. What about this one? Yes. This one? Yes. This one? Yes. This one? We'll get back to it, but I'll half check it, alright? I can't fully check it, but I'll half check it, alright? And then the rest of them are like, okay, I see it, I see it, I see it. No. Okay? But most of my check marks were met, except for one. And if you know any relationship, no matter the connection, you're going to have some check boxes that aren't met. Okay? Maybe one or two or three. But most of them are going to be met. All checked. Okay? And that's the person that you should stick around with. Good people. Okay? We have had, with these people in my life, my past, we've had the introduction, we've had the run-in. How are you? What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? Okay? And then it got into banter. And we had some good banter, some dirty banter, some bad banter. I'll admit, I enjoy being a troll. It's fun. Okay? But you gotta tell who's capable of understanding being a troll. Because you can't troll everyone. That's not how being a troll works. Some people do it. And those are the people that you should avoid. Okay? Because I don't want to be introduced to someone or introduce this person to my best friend, my mom, my dad, everyone, and just have these people troll them all day long. It wouldn't be fun, right? It's not respectful. You can be a troll and still be respectful, right? There's a boundary. There's a fine line. Okay? So, we had the introduction, and then we got into banter. And we got back and forth with the banter, and it didn't lead anywhere. And then, a couple of banters later, I started to add some flirting into it. I introduced some flirting into it. Okay? And the flirting went back and forth and back and forth. But folks, let me tell you something. After flirting usually leads you to 20 questions. This stage, listen closely, is where most of you are ghosted. Okay? The majority of ghosting occurs. Okay? And it's because you're not initiating that conversation. Okay? You're not even initiating the memories. Okay? When you just get to 20 questions and or photo memories, photo stories, what you're saying is, I live in the past. I'm going to stay in the past. I don't care about the future. The future is not where I plan to go, plan to be. I don't even see the future. It's not even in my windshield, okay? It's like, hello? No, it's closed. So, when you get to that point, you need to decide, do I want to be ghosted? Do I want to keep the effort and continue this engagement, this conversation, in the likelihood that we can get to that relationship or that conversation? Because not every conversation is going to lead to a relationship. Remember that. That's why it's at the very bottom. Okay? So, when you get to that point, if you don't want them to ghost you, plain and simple, get up, turn around, and walk. Okay? Do you see how easy that was? Get up, turn around, and walk. Don't even look back. Looking back is not what you do. Looking back is the great way to get yourself into trouble, your mind into trouble, and your eyes into trouble. Okay? Because when you look back, what you're doing is causing hesitation. When you cause hesitation, that's when your heart and your brain conflicts with one another, okay? And that's not good, okay? That's where most of the emotion comes into play, okay? Heart and head confliction, okay? So, now that you've decided that this is a good ghosting, like they're not ghosting you because they don't want to talk to you. They may ghost you because they're busy with work. They may ghost you because they're on a trip. They may ghost you because they're with family. They may ghost you because they can't talk at that moment, okay? Some people are just in places they can't talk, okay? That exists, believe it or not, okay? And they can't even have a cell phone. They can't have a phone. They can't contact nobody, all right? It's possible. They exist. So, when you get past that, past the photo story into conversation, this is where you've decided, I'm putting in the effort into keeping this ping pong back and forth going until I start to see those red flags, okay? Now, once you see that all your red flags are out of here, that's where you start the relationship. That's where all your feelings come about, okay? Because when you flirt, you're exposing about a fourth of your feelings, your emotions. Okay? When you get into your conversation, that's where you introduce half of your feelings. So now we're at 3/4, because at the flirting stage, right, you have a quarter here, and then down here at the conversation, we have introduced half of the rest, okay? So what's left? The final quarter of it, right? Of your feelings? That's where you put it in your relationship. Now, because they've seen the first 3/4, the relationship is your examination, okay? I'll say it again. Your relationship is your examination. This is when that person is deciding pass, check, or fail. Right? Nothing. Not even going to do it. If you pass, they'll give you a thumbs up. But if you fail, they're going to give you an X. They're going to say, next. Right? They're going to X you out of here. Okay? So, then in relationship, you have the final 1/4 of your feelings intro, your introduction, okay? Now, at the relationship, like I said, it is your emotional examination. Pass or fail. Because, folks, don't wait to get married to do your pass or fail test. What's the point in marrying them? Right? Marriage should be an ongoing progress. Okay? But you can't marry someone and halfway in the middle, stop loving them and leave. When you marry someone, you should have already picked in that relationship phase, okay? You should have already picked pass. Because once you get to that relationship, down here at the bottom is the marriage, is the sacrament, it's the unity, okay? There's more places down here, okay? But you gotta get through these first. So when people ask, why am I being ghosted? Go back to your original 4, okay? Your introduction, number 1. Your banter, number 2. Your flirting, number 3. Okay? And your conversation, number 4. Okay? Now, if you get to numbers 1 through 3 and you forget your 4th, you've already ghosted yourself. You gotta get to that 4th one to even make the decision. Because if you don't get to number 4, you've automatically made up the choice. There is no yes or no. You've already made it up. You finalized it. Okay? So I hope that you guys let this resonate with you. Okay? And help this with your daily lives. And maybe others. Because this is a conscious choice you are making when you are conversing. Your brain is a powerful thing. Okay? If you don't think so, watch other individuals conversate, work, talk, survive. It's an absolute incredible weapon that we humans have the innate gift of having. Okay? Now, if you find that this does help, wonderful. If you find that it doesn't, well, I may be able to help you out with some things to help you get here, but I can't make it force into you. Okay? So, yes, if you find out you're being ghosted, look at your checklist and find out which of these bullets you're not hitting and which one you've decided to pass, fail. Okay? Because I bet you're choosing the wrong one to pass and the wrong one to fail, when it should be the other way around. Alright? I love you guys. Mwah. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one. Bye.